2024 estate and gift tax changes, crucial deadlines. So high level, no big changes in 2024 from 2023, but that doesn't mean we don't have to worry about this. So the estate tax, this is the tax that is paid when you pass away, when your assets go to your loved ones, or it's a gift tax as well. So you could, whether you give gifts during life or when they go, or whether they go to your kids after you pass away or whoever else, that's when this tax is imposed. And the exemption is how much you can pass tax-free with no federal estate tax or gift tax. 2023, you can give away $12.92 million per person. That's a big number, right? And for couples, that was over $25 million. So it only affects about 1 in 1,000 families right now. Maybe. And now, to be clear, in the nicer parts of California, where there's San Diego, West LA, Bay Area, it's a much higher percentage. But even in these communities, it's not that many families. But if you're close to these numbers, if you're single, close to 12 million, hey, great place to be, you need to worry about this. Or a couple close to 25, 26 million, you need to worry. But in 2026, it's adjusted to it with inflation. So the numbers are actually going up. 2024, the exemption is increasing to 13.61 million per person. It's over $27 million per couple that can be passed tax-free to your kids, to your heirs. And that's either when you pass away or when you're living. And that's really important because there's some deadlines coming. We'll talk about why lifetime gifts may make a lot of sense. 2023, there's also, a lot of people confuse these, but there's an annual gift exemption. This is how much you can give to as many people as you want without even reporting it to the IRS. Last year it was $17,000. It's increased with inflation to $18,000 this year. So you might be thinking, Mike, great, not something I have to worry about because I don't have over $10 million in my estate. Well, the first point I would make is if you own a house, in the nicer parts of California, the house alone, in theory, in the next few years is probably going to go up in value, and that might be worth more than you think. Your retirement accounts are part of your estate, investment accounts, savings account, life insurance policies, anything you inherit in the future if your parents didn't plan ahead with us, all part of your estate. So your estate's probably bigger than you think, but you still might think, well, yeah, great. I'm still not close to 26 million. Why should I worry about this? Here's why you need to worry about it. There is a cliff coming. In 2026, unless there is a major change in law before then, the exemption is set to drop by 50%. Why is that? Well, the current law sunsets. So when the Tax Cut and Jobs Act was passed several years ago, they increased the exemption, the amount you could pass tax-free. But for esoteric budget rules and that I don't know all of these, but there are rules, they had to make this a law that ended at a certain point because it increased the federal budget deficit massively. So the bottom line is, unless Congress and the Senate and the president, all branches of our government agree, if they don't do anything, the exemption is going to drop by 50% on January 1st, 2026. Now, it is possible if one party controls all three branches of the federal government in a couple of years, it is possible it could change. If Democrats control all three, maybe it will get even lower, the exemption. If Republicans control all three, maybe it will go up. But when's the last time you could count on Congress to make any changes or to do anything? I mean, Congress is brilliant at not doing anything.
Hey, I have to say, so let's assume for the moment Republicans control everything. Look at how they fight amongst themselves. I mean, it's like two different animals. So even if one party controls all three houses, there's so much disagreement and so much dissonance within the parties that I still personally think that the chance of any chances of new tax laws that are beneficial, not zero, I can never say that, 1%, 2%, ain't going to happen.
So in other words, do not rely on the federal government to bail you out if you're going to face estate tax exposure in a couple of years. So again, do you need to act? Here are the situations we think call for extreme action, taking action to potentially save your family, not exaggerating, millions of dollars. And it's extraordinary what we can do completely legally. There's nothing we do that is not completely accepted strategy and okay within the tax code. But do you need to act? If you're single and you have a net worth of over $5 million, again, if you just own a house in many parts of California, as crazy as that is, you might be close to that. You need to worry about this. If you're a couple and your net worth is approaching 10 million, you need to worry about this because your estate is probably going to grow in value over time. There might be blips here and there, right as the exemption is going to drop. And so what is the number? We think the exemption will be around 6.5 or 7 million per person on January 1st, 2026. And it is use it or lose it. So it's if you gave away $5 million right before 2026, you might say, okay, well, I gave away 5 million, but I still had 7 million left or 8 million left based on the old exemption. Surely I will still have that left, even if they drop the exemption. And no, the IRS just looks, what is the exemption? How much have you given away? So if you don't take advantage of the complete of all of the 12 or 13 million before the exemption drops, you completely lose any that you didn't use. If you gave away $5 million before the deadline, you got no benefit because you could have given away $5 million after. It's not like you get an extra amount added. So what are some action steps we need to take? So I think the key is be aware of this. If you're single, net worth, including your house, life insurance, everything is approaching 5 million, you need to be worried. Couple approaching 10 million, you need to be worried. Mike, let's talk about some examples. This is not comprehensive, but there are so many techniques we can use that can save, no joke, millions of dollars. You want to just give some examples or how we think about this?
So when we look at just pure mathematics, it would seem that maybe 26, 27 million, I mean, hey, that's a lot. That doesn't apply. Mark said it doesn't apply to many individuals.
A great problem to have.
Let's go through the thought process, because even later when the level of protection is lower, again, these points are really important. So why do we say on this slide that 30 to 35 million can be protected when that's more than the available level of protection for a couple? Well, the reason is that there are many tools and techniques that let us achieve transfers of assets out of your estate and very significantly discount the value of that transfer. So let's say you have a rental property, hypothetically, and that rental property is worth $2 million. If you just give it away to your kid or kids or to anybody, it's a gift valued at $2 million because you gave it to them. They can sell it. They can take out a loan. It's theirs. Now let's assume that you give them a 50% interest in that property. You would think mathematically that that's a gift valued at $1 million, half of the market value. It is in real terms, perhaps, but for gift tax reporting purposes, it's not. We can significantly discount the value of that gift. Now, what does that mean? If we take a 25% discount, rather than reporting $1 million gift, we'd report a $750,000 gift, making $250,000 of that asset just disappear for tax purposes. The rationale is this, that if somebody owns a 50% interest in that property, they can't just sell it and get their $1 million, right? They're joined at the hip with somebody else. They're constrained and limited in their use of that asset. They can't just take out a loan. Again, they have to team up with the other party. And the IRS readily accepts that that's a legitimate reason to discount the value of that gift. So that's one way, again, of making a ton of money disappear. Yeah. Another point, for folks with larger estates, where you're well over 13, 14 million total, one of the items here, the second, is this thing called the Spousal Lifetime Access Trust, a SLAT. We love these acronyms. So the idea here is kind of simple, yet very sophisticated. One spouse takes the maximum number of dollars that can be given away this year without gift or estate tax. That's $13.61 million, and can put it into a trust for the benefit of the other spouse. That money is forever removed from their taxable estate. So one spouse uses the maximum, and the other spouse still has her own 13 million. Later, maybe 7 million, but still, we've saved millions of dollars by taking that step. Implicit in that thinking, by the way, is the fact that we're not stripping you, the couple, of financial security. Quite the opposite. We're very attentive to that. It isn't give it away and now you're on your own, go to the poorhouse. No. All kinds of ways of making sure you have income. You still have access in some ways. So again, many tools can be used. You're probably aware of a charitable remainder trust where you can give away an asset, have an income stream for life. Again, many others. In our book, which I think we can feature in a moment here, regarding planning for estate tax, beat estate tax forever, we have a chapter where we summarize not all, but most of the tools and techniques that we use and that are successful. And by the way, none of them are cutting edge crazy. Everything in that book, all of the tools and techniques are tried and true. There are some crazy ideas out there, not for us. So impact is tremendous. The opportunity is unlimited if you have a larger estate. You just need to learn about these options and then make some intelligent choices.
You need to take action now. We already have some of our higher net worth clients setting meetings in 2025. No joke. Like, I guarantee you, assuming there's not a huge change in law, and we think it's, I think it's maybe 90% likely it won't get overturned or changed, we will be inundated. In 2011, there was a similar deadline, and I think we were turning, this was before I was even with the firm, we were turning clients away near the end of the year. We did not have the bandwidth. So if you're worried about this, talk to us now. We can lay the groundwork. I just have to point out, Dad, you say, you're probably familiar with charitable remainder trusts. I don't think that many people are familiar with charity. Maybe people in our community, our client community are. Maybe if you're watching our webinars, you are. But, some of these are not that well known. But there's some wonderful charitable ways you can protect assets as well. That's a way to avoid estate taxes. Give it to charity, by the way. But and we have webinars on this, estate planning for high net worth families. But most importantly, if you have this issue, give us a call, contact us at gilfix.com. Let's set a meeting to go over it because the stakes are so high. And we have this deadline, January 1st, 2026. If you miss it, may cost your family, not exaggerating, millions of dollars. There's so much we can do ahead of time. So let's plan ahead. If you want to work with us, we'd invite you to join our client community. If you're an existing client, come meet with us. Very easy to find us. We're Gilfix and LaPole, gilfix.com. You can contact us at 650-493-8070. We can, of course, review your existing plan, whether you worked with us previously or not. If you have questions, leave them as comments on YouTube. We'll get to some of those. We'll respond to those. We try to get back to most YouTube questions or comments. Make sure, regardless, though, that you have an expert team of advisors. If you have any assets, you need a great financial advisor who can help you think about these, tax, a good accountant and a great estate planning team. We're building these networks. We would love to be a part of it. But either way, make sure you have it. Don't leave it just to the 1/10 of 1% to have those teams. We all can do it. Let's control what we can control in these very uncertain times. As my mom likes to say, I hope everybody's staying safe, sane, and healthy.